Hi everybody, welcome back to Cabin Crafts. My name is Candy and I own Sassafras Creek Originals in St. Genevieve, Missouri. And today we're going to make these orange pomanders. This is a very simple craft, another one that kids would like to do. And I put up my spray that I made a couple of episodes earlier because this would be really pretty and look very Williamsburg-y in your colonial spray that we made earlier. And here is the book that I was talking about. You could probably find this on Amazon. You could get it used or new or whatever, or even go to the Williamsburg website. But this is Christmas Decorations from Williamsburg. And this is the beautiful book that shows you how to make all of these wonderful displays. They go into a lot of detail. And you can see there's very specific instructions, which makes it easy to understand. So when I got this book, I was like, these look so hard and so complicated. And actually, they're really not. Some of them might be more time-consuming than others. There's a very popular one, the pineapple with the magnolia leaves and the apple spray. And I've actually put that on the front of my store at Christmas time a couple of years. So anyway, this is that book that I was talking about that you can order. It's called Christmas Decorations from Williamsburg. And so today we're going to make the pomanders, and those are pretty simple. I mean, basically you need two ingredients. You need oranges and you need whole cloves. So you can get whole cloves at any bulk spice shop. If you have any bulk spices in your area, a lot of health food stores will have them, or bigger grocery stores will have bulk spices where you can buy the whole cloves. And so that's all we need is those two ingredients. And then I have a special little tool. Now I use this little tool for a lot of different things, but this is called a scratch awl, A-W-L. And you can see it's got a pointy tip. You use it typically in leather making, like to poke the holes in the leather so you can pull a needle through. But I use it for a lot of different things that I need to poke a hole in. So this is actually going to come in handy for our pomanders. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to poke some holes. I think I'm going to do a swirly decoration on this. And I'm just going to poke some holes to get started. And we're just going to swirl on down around, and I'm just pre-poking all of my holes, and this wonderful orange smell is coming out. You might get a little bit of juice running, but once you put your clove in there, it's going to plug that hole, and that smell of cloves and orange juice is just gonna, it's wafting up into my nose right now. I wish you all could smell this. I wish we had smell-o-vision. Maybe one of these days somebody will figure out how to invent that. And then we're gonna smell things. All the cooking shows will smell so good we'll all look like the Wall-E movie. Because all we'll wanna do is eat. So anyway, I've poked a bunch of holes in here. And I'm just going to take my cloves, and they'll go in really easy since I've pre-poked my holes. I probably should have my granny glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. And you can make your own designs. If you do this with the kids, you could even poke your holes like with a skewer, like a bamboo skewer, if you don't want them to have something as sharp as an awl. They could make a face on their orange, or whatever design you like. There's all kinds of designs online. You can look at like Pinterest. Pinterest is a fun place to find some cool ideas. So we're just going to keep sticking these in. You can see how fast it goes. And like I said, I could have done this for my Williamsburg wreath there, but I just didn't think of it in time. So we're just going to stick them all on these. And a bowl full of these would be pretty on your Christmas table, maybe with some candles around, and make sure they're like all different designs so it looks interesting. And you could do this to lemons or limes, any kind of citrus fruit. Of course, you can take your leftover cloves and stick them in your Christmas ham. My mom always used to do that. Probably yours did too. But you can see it's just making a really lovely design all the way around. And we talked about Christmas decorations in Williamsburg and how they got started. And I think that's also where putting a candle in the window got started too. I had someone come in the shop the other day and say, do you know where that tradition came from? And I think because at the same time that the powers that be were trying to decide what decorations would be appropriate in Williamsburg, they wanted everyone to make it look Christmassy at night to put a candle in the window. And I think back in the day they used, they might have used real ones, but then that's a fire hazard, especially in some of those historic houses. You don't want to burn down an 18th century building after you've just spent a bunch of money to refurbish it. So they started the Della Robbia decorations, which is what this kind of fruit decor is called. And then they had the lights, the candles in the windows. And so that just kind of caught on. And then they do a decorating contest. So some of the buildings in Colonial Williamsburg are private owned, and some of them are owned by the foundation, or some of them are owned by the College of William and Mary to house their staff. And they all get involved. So there's not one 18th century house undecorated, so that you get the full effect. I'm almost done. You can see how fast this goes and how pretty it is. Just a couple more. And as these dry, they kind of start to shrivel up and shrink up, and that makes them look all the more interesting. So here's one of our pomanders. We have a bowl, and you can make a whole little bowl full of them. Looks very Christmassy. And one more thing about Colonial Williamsburg. I had some people here in St. Genevieve, because this is a town that was founded in 1735, they're like, well, Colonial Williamsburg is a fake town. And that is not so. There are 88 original structures in Colonial Williamsburg, and like I said, the Rockefeller family and the rector of Bruton Parish Church decided to save the town. And so a lot of the buildings in the town had been Victorianized. They had gingerbread trim add to them, and front porches and things like that. And so they took off the Victorian facades and took them back to their original 18th century look. And so 88 of the structures in Williamsburg are original. And then they had to rebuild a few things due to fires and whatever. So like the Capitol is a rebuild. The Governor's Palace is a rebuild. It burnt in 1781, I think. And some of the other buildings are rebuilds. But they had a map that a Frenchman drew during the Battle of Yorktown, where Cornwallis surrendered to George Washington. And it is so accurate. It had every building and marked what it was. And so they used that map to reconstruct the whole town. So if you get a chance to go, it's worth visiting. And like I said, I've always wanted to go to Christmas, but we haven't made it there yet, but I will. The other place I want to go is Old Salem, the Moravian settlement in North Carolina. I want to go there too. And I think they do something very similar with these kind of natural decorations. So there you have it. We have our Christmas pomanders. Make a whole bowl full of these. Set them out at Christmas time. Have a lovely table for Christmas dinner. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.